5 seeds, 1 afternoon, and by the end of this video, you'll know how to start every single one of them. We're talking chives, cauliflower, bok choy, pak choy, and eggplant. Some of these germinate in less than a week, and one of them you're going to have a little bit of patience for. So let's get into it. So why these 5? Because they cover a lot of ground. You've got an herb, some cool weather, a heat lover, so no matter where you are and what part of the season you're in, at least a couple of these are ready to go in the ground soon. And every single one of them can be started from seed without anything fancy. No grow tent, no expensive setup, just light, soil, and a little bit of know-how. Here's what I'm using today. We've got the 128 count cell from Bootstrap Farmer. Got it from MI Gardener. So far, so good. I've got a cheapo 6 cell that we're planning on using for the chives. As always, my Fox Farm Happy Frog sifted potting mix or seed starting mix. And that's really going to be about it. If you've got a heat mat, go ahead and grab it for the eggplant. I'll explain why here in a minute. Otherwise, keep it simple and let's start easy. First up is, of course, chives. If you've never grown herbs before, chives is a really great place to start. They are super forgiving. Now here's where most people are going to go wrong. They bury them too deep. Chive seeds are tiny. You want to scatter them right on the surface of the soil and then just press them in gently. That's it. Don't cover them. They need a little light to germinate. Keep the soil moist, but not soaked, just moist. And you should see sprouts in about 7 to 14 days. They come up looking like tiny little grass blades. They're going to look delicate at first, but once they start to mature, they're quite hardy. One thing I love about chives is once you plant them outside, they will come back year after year. They're a perennial, so plant them once and harvest them forever. And bees absolutely love chive flowers. So they're doing double duty in your garden. Food for you and food for the pollinators. Seed number 2 is, of course, cauliflower. Now, cauliflower has a reputation for being a tiny bit fussy, and honestly, it kind of is. But if you get the timing right, you'll be golden. Cauliflower is a cool weather crop. It does not want heat. So you want to start these seeds at least 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. That head start is going to mean everything in successful harvesting. Plant your seeds about a 1/4 inch deep. That's it. Just barely covered. Cauliflower is going to germinate pretty quickly, usually 4 to 7 days if the conditions are right. And here's the key, keep them cool. Ideal germination temperature is, of course, going to be between 65 and 70 degrees. If your house runs warm, don't put these by a heat source. A cooler room, a basement with a shelf, and a shop light is going to be perfect. Once these seedlings are up, go ahead and give them plenty of light. Leggy cauliflower seedlings are a real problem. If they stretch and they're reaching for the light, they are going to be weak when you go to transplant them. 12 to 16 hours of light a day is what you're going to be aiming for. When it's time to move them outside, go ahead and harden them off for a week, bring them out for a couple hours, then bring them back inside. Your cauliflower will not handle transplant shock well if you skip that step. Now, if you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you know that we're getting ready to do 2 of my favorite crops to grow. I like trying to grow them through the wintertime. I like growing them indoors. I like growing them in the garden. I've liked every possible thing I could possibly do to make it where we have a consistent supply of that. And it, of course, is bok choy and pak choy. And not just any, but baby bok choy and regular pak choy. I have a little less experience with this one, but baby bok choy, that's my jam. And yes, these two are actually closely related. Pak choy is just another name you'll see on a seed packet. Same family, slightly different shape. Bok choy tends to have white stems with dark green leaves, and pak choy is typically a little more compact. But the growing process, basically identical. And here's why I love these, because they're super fast. Like fast. It's crazy how fast you can grow bok choy and pak choy. You can go from seed to harvest in 45 to 50 days. Yeah, 30 to 45, 50 days to harvest. So pak choy, 30 to 45, baby choy, 50. And germination only going to take like 5 days. They will be some of the quickest seeds you've ever started. Plant them about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch deep. They like cool soil similar to the cauliflower. 65 to 70 degrees is, of course, the sweet spot. Now, here's a tip that'll save you some frustration. Bok choy will bolt in the heat, so don't start these too late. If you're in a warmer zone, get these started as soon as possible before the heat really starts kicking in. Because once these bolt, the leaves get super bitter and you've missed your whole window for harvest. Will say once they bolt, though, the pollinators love these as well. So if you can let them hang out for a little bit, would recommend. These are also great if you're tight on space. Also great for companion planting and intercropping in those little spaces that you don't quite know what to put in there. You can grow baby bok choy in containers. Seriously, a 6-inch pot, some good soil, and you've got fresh greens on your patio in less than a month, in about a month and a half. And we really like to succession sow these every 2 to 3 weeks, especially in the fall. Early spring, I can get away with a couple sowings, and then once that heat kicks in, you start seeing those 80-degree days, they're pretty well toast. And that's going to help you have a consistent supply without everything maturing at the same time. And last but definitely not least is eggplant. If you've never grown eggplant from seed, I want you to set your expectations right and just know that patience is everything. Eggplant is a heat lover, and it's the opposite of everything we just planted. Where cauliflower and bok choy want it cooler, eggplant wants it warm, really warm. If you're a pepper grower, they go well together. For germination, you're looking for 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is where a heat mat will make a real difference. Without one, germination can take up to 3 weeks or more. With a heat mat, you can cut that down to 7 to 14 days. Plant your seeds about a 1/4 inch deep. Keep the soil consistently moist, not soaked, and never bone dry. Once they sprout, eggplant seedlings are slow growers at first, but don't panic. They'll sit there looking tiny and sad for a while, and then all of a sudden they're just going to take off. Give them strong light, same as cauliflower, 12 to 16 hours a day. And don't transplant outside until the nighttime temperature is consistently 60 degrees. Eggplant will sit there and just sulk in cool soil. And here's the thing about eggplant that makes it worth the wait. Once it gets going in the garden, it can produce for months. You'll get more eggplant than you know what to do with from just a few plants. The patience up front pays off in the end. So real quick, let's recap the big takeaways. Chives, surface sow, don't bury, they need light to germinate. Cauliflower, keep it cool, start 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date, and don't be skimpy on the light. Bok choy, fast growers, start early before the heat, and try succession planting. Eggplant, heat is everything. Use a heat mat if you've got one. Not 100% necessary. Just remember, patience is the game. The biggest mistake I see, overwatering, especially with seed starting. Moist, but not muddy. That's why we're trying these trays now to see if that can maybe eliminate some of the problems that people are having with overwatering. If the soil is too soggy, your seeds will rot before they even sprout. Mix the soil, keep it damp, and let the seeds do their thing. That's 5 seeds, 1 setup, and you're on your way to a garden full of fresh, honest food this season. If this video helped you out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Carter's Gardens, we're going clean, synthetic free, just good food from good soil. Drop a comment and let me know what you're starting first. I read every single one. And if you've never started seeds before and this is your first time, welcome, you're in the right place. And I'll see you in the next one.